In a crowded market, a powerful colonel thought he could do anything. When a simple woman accidentally brushed against him, he raised his hand to strike her in front of everyone. But in the blink of an eye, the woman caught his arm and snapped it like dry wood. The man who ruled by fear fell to his knees. And that day the people discovered she was never just a simple woman. She was the storm they never saw coming. What city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. The sun beat down hard on the old market road. Dust rose with every step, clinging to clothes, to baskets, to the lungs of the people who worked and lived there. The smell of spices, fried food, and livestock mixed into a thick haze, and through it moved Layla, a woman no one ever noticed. Her shawl was plain, her basket of vegetables nearly empty. She walked with her head lowered, a shadow among shadows. People only saw her as a simple woman, quiet and ordinary, the kind of person who blends into the background of life. But this ordinary day was about to carve her name into whispers of legend. At the far end of the market, Colonel Rashid arrived. His uniform shone with metals polished brighter than the sun itself. His boots struck the ground with authority, each step a reminder of who controlled this town. The chatter dimmed when he walked by. Children hid behind their mothers. Shopkeepers lowered their heads. Everyone knew his temper. Everyone knew his cruelty. Layla, adjusting the weight of her basket, accidentally brushed against him as she passed. The touch was nothing more than a mistake of crowded space, but for the colonel, it was unforgivable. "You clumsy woman!" his voice thundered, cutting through the market. Heads turned, eyes widened. He raised his hand, intent on striking her across the face. It was not the first time he had hit someone in public, and people had learned to look away, but this time was different. In that instant, something lit in Layla's eyes. A flame, a memory, a training long buried beneath layers of silence and simplicity. As his hand swung down, her body moved faster than the eye could follow. She caught his wrist mid-air. In one fluid, practiced motion, she twisted his arm. Bones shifted, joints bent in unnatural ways. And then, snap. The sound echoed across the market like a firecracker. The mighty colonel screamed, collapsing to his knees, clutching his shattered arm. Gasps erupted from every corner. The butcher froze, knife halfway through a cut. A boy dropped his bread. The old man's prayer beads slipped from his fingers. No one could believe what they saw. A simple woman bringing the most feared man in the district to his knees. Layla did not shout. She did not gloat. She bent slightly toward him and spoke, her voice steady, calm, unshakable. "Never raise your hand to a woman again." She released him, letting his body crumple into the dust. He groaned in humiliation, face red with pain and disgrace, metals glinting uselessly in the dirt. Layla adjusted her shawl, lifted her basket, and began walking away. She did not hurry. She did not look back. Her steps were steady, each one heavier than the colonel's reputation. The market stood silent, the air thick with disbelief. And then, slowly, whispers began to spread. Whispers that would travel beyond the market, beyond the town, carried from one trembling lip to another. She broke him. She is not just a woman. She is the storm you never see coming. From that day forward, Colonel Rashid's power shrank. The people had seen him fall, and the image they could not forget was not his pain, but her strength. The woman they had ignored, underestimated, dismissed as simple, had reminded them of a truth older than power and medals. The strongest force often hides in plain sight, and in that truth, the people found courage. Thanks for being here till the end. If this story moved you, give it a like, subscribe for more real moments, and share your thoughts. I rate every comment.